My Scholar Award was based in the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, which is a small university town. Well, when I say small, I have about 25,000 students, but the town is the university and the university is the town. And I was working on lobbying regulation. I'm a political scientist, so I was working in the Department of Political Science and the Centre for European Studies, and I was engaged in research on lobbying regulation. I've written a lot about that over the years, how regulations in the United States could be, if you like, transposed to Ireland and to Europe in general. Well, I work in American politics, so I've known about the Fulbright Program forever, literally. But I really got interested in it from a personal point of view about 3 or 4 years ago. I had known colleagues of mine at DCU who had went on Fulbrights, and I was due a sabbatical. And everywhere I went, you say, I'm on a Fulbright in UNC, people would say, oh, that's great. But certainly a Fulbright opens doors, I would say. Yes, I chose UNC simply because I had worked with a colleague of mine who was a tenured professor in that university, and that was very helpful for me in terms of I was assured that I would have an office and that I would have university support, and of course it's very prestigious for universities in the United States to host Fulbrighters coming from abroad. But my strong advice would be certainly it is a better idea to have a link and to apply in that context rather than sort of applying blind. It just makes it much easier in terms of the research focus you have, that you're going to someone that you're going to a place you do work in, and also that you have facilities and support from both sort of administration but also intellectually on the ground. After all, you're there to complete a period of work or piece of work, so in that context I think it's important that we have, or one has full support. So I'm based in the School of Law and Government at DCU, and I've been there a very long time, close to 20 years. So I was due a sabbatical, and so I had certain supports in terms of the university granting me literally a year off, which I spent 6 months in the United States. So I basically was able to use my salary on top of my fellowship to live, basically, and that's another issue people need to consider in terms of financial support from home. Do you have the funds to live a comfortable life? Because while one is there to work, it's a great opportunity for travel. It's not simply about the project and the publishing, although that's the most important thing. It's then about being part of a family, and there are values associated with Fulbright in terms of educational exchange, learning exchange, knowledge exchange. Then there are issues about which university. You look happier in a much larger university, where I was one of the great public schools of the United States, 30,000 students, or would you prefer to be in a more smaller liberal arts college? There are things to be decided there. Geography, again, where would one like to go? But I think the project, why the United States, and then the length of time, I think, is clearly important. There is, in my view, good strong support from host universities where we work for us to then travel and to experience a different university experience, and also to bring that back. So, for instance, I was able to see basically how university department worked in the United States, where they would have a different PhD program, for instance, and I was able to bring back some of those learning experiences back to my host institution. My experience is that the sort of university family are very willing to talk and engage with people on all levels. People in UNC are devoted to the university. They all go around in t-shirts and hoodies and whatnot. And I think that's something we have here, but we probably don't have as much of it as we should be. And I've said to my students since I came back, you are the university. DCU is you. It wouldn't exist if we didn't have a student body. It would be the same for any university, and I think that's an important element that was sort of brought home to me on my Fulbright. Yes, the most important thing, I think, clearly, first of all, is the project and why one needs to go to the United States to complete the project. That's the crucial thing. Fulbright is great. It's great to get it. I remember I was really thrilled when I got the news myself. It's a fantastic experience. It's a great opportunity to travel, but at the end of the day, you want to come back with a piece of work completed that you then publish, or in terms of whether it might be teaching support or whatever. But that's the most important thing. So clearly, a project that is doable and defined within the tenure of when one wants to go, I think that's first and foremost the crucial. And then why the United States? And to be able to go to one of the great universities in the world, to work there, to understand its traditions, its heritage, its history, and the history of the United States in terms of its immigrant experience was really profound. There were times when I said to myself, what am I doing here? But for the most part, I found it extraordinarily enriching, and looking back, I'm glad I did it.